Why is it that so many businesses fail before they ever get to scale? Look, the truth is, if you are attempting to apply some of the strategies and tactics that work for these big successful companies that you see out there into your startup, you are sabotaging your chances of success for you as an entrepreneur and for your company. And I don't want that for you. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how do you know what strategies you need to be applying based on where you currently are in your business. Hey, this is Wayne, founder of Ugly Mug Marketing, author of Full Circle Marketing. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact strategies that you need in your business for the stage that you're in right now. Not the stage that you're going to be in next year, not the stage that you were in last year, but for where you are today. This is the biggest mistake I see entrepreneurs make. They believe that they could just grab a strategy that they read about online, a strategy that some guru's talking about or something they read in a book, and they can just apply it into their business. Not too long ago, I heard a story about this person. They came to me and they said, look, I'm working with this business coach, and this person made custom jewelry. They bought these beads and custom made beads from around the world. And they would bring them together and they would assemble them into these absolutely beautiful necklaces and bracelets and rings. And this person started working with a business coach, and their business coach told them they needed to inventory all of their beads. And so they looked at all the beads they had, which was over 10,000 beads of all different shapes, all different colors from all different places around the world. And they just became overwhelmed by this idea of having to inventory all of their beads. And I went back to them and said, look, why are they encouraging you to do this? And they said, well, my business coach said that if I don't know what beads are being used and what I have in stock, then there's no way for me to ever scale this business because I simply don't know what I've got in stock and inventory and what I don't. The problem was this person was struggling to actually get customers. They didn't have enough revenue coming in, right? They were struggling not because they didn't know what beads they had, not because they didn't have inventory control, but rather because they didn't have a flow of qualified customers coming to them trying to purchase their jewelry. And that's a classic example of what's probably taking place in your business. See, right now you're probably grabbing things. You hear these gurus talking about these things that you can and should be doing in your business, and you're trying to apply them, but it's the wrong time to apply them. Here's the thing. Good advice applied at the wrong time is bad advice. I'm gonna say that again. Good advice applied at the wrong time is bad advice. So the question is, what advice are you taking right now? That may be good advice for you at a different stage in the business, but you're trying to apply it right now to where you are, and it's becoming bad advice. Just like my friend who was trying to inventory all of these beads they had, right? Great advice for a little bit further down the road, but terrible advice for right now. And here's the thing. My friend went out of business. My friend couldn't survive. While they were busy trying to count beads and do all these things that their coach was telling them to do, they went out of business because they didn't have revenue coming in. And I see this time and time again. It's not necessarily that a business goes out of business because of lack of revenue coming in because they're busy counting their inventory, but it's the same concept. They're applying the wrong principles at the wrong time. So let's talk about what principles or what things you need to be applying right now in your business based on where you currently are, not based on what some guru is telling you, or not based on where you're going to be in a year or 2 years or 3 years. So how do we do this? How do we know what we should be applying? Number one, we have to understand there are 5 core stages that your business is going to go through. This is normal. This is across the board. This is true for every organization. If you look at any organization, you will see evidence that they go through these 5 stages. So stage number 1 is the me stage. This is where you as a leader have to learn to trust yourself as a leader. This is where you're learning to get your legs, if you will. This is where you're learning to walk. It's where you're having to get knocked down and get back up and learning to do this over and over again as you stumble forward. This whole first stage is about understanding your role as an entrepreneur and trusting in yourself. The next stage you're going to go to is the we stage. This is where you begin bringing in team members, whether that is direct team members, whether that is third-party vendors, whether that is contractors, whatever that may be. This is where you're learning to trust other people to help you grow your business, where it's not always just about you doing the thing. It's about having other people. The next stage is they. And this is a fun stage, using that very lightly, fun stage. This is systems and processes. And by default, we as entrepreneurs don't like systems and processes, right? We just know what to do. That's how we ended up in this business. We looked around, we saw a problem, and we just figured it out, right? We just said, look, I can solve that problem for you. And so we started our business. And so by default, we don't typically like systems and processes. But in this stage, you have to learn to implement systems and processes into your business. You have to learn to trust those systems and processes. And you then move to stage 4, which is what I call the machine. This is where we have to get our people and ourselves and our systems and processes to work together in unison, to start working as a well-oiled machine. Now, once we get to this stage, we then have to go into stage 5, which is creative destruction. This is about moving beyond and destroying the things that once created our success. So here's the thing that brings you to success today cannot bring you to success a year from now or 2 years from now, right? Our strengths often become our weaknesses. So let me give you an example of this. So a good friend of mine owns this really amazing delicatessen in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And one of their strengths is they have absolutely delicious food at their delicatessen. It's the best food you will eat, right? It's the best sandwiches, the best Reubens, the best, all of these amazing things that you will eat. So that's their strength. The strength is the quality and the deliciousness of their food. That strength leads to a weakness. And guess what that weakness is? That weakness is the price of their food has gone up, right? As the ingredients and what they put in their food continues to go up, and because they choose to put really amazing ingredients in their food, their prices are expensive. So their strength has led to a weakness. And the same is going to happen in your business. There's going to be certain strengths that will lead to weaknesses. And that's why we have to look to destroy certain things, certain limiting beliefs, certain systems, certain processes, or it could be even getting rid of certain people who are still living in a different stage, right? They're not ready to take our business to the next level. You've all heard the story at this point of Kodak, how Kodak, the film company, actually developed the digital camera. But they couldn't understand a world without film because all of the revenue was tied to film. And so they were unwilling to destroy the thing that led to their success. And because they were unwilling to destroy that thing and lean into this new technology, this digital camera, they no longer exist today. So the question for you is, which stage are you currently in? Where do you fall in this set of stages? Now, you can't start applying systems and processes. You can't start doing things way down here without moving through these stages, right? You have to work through these stages. They always come in sequential order. So many entrepreneurs are here, they're just getting started, but they're trying to build systems and processes, right? My friend who had the jewelry business, she was up here, and yet her coach was trying to get her to be down here and build these systems and processes for inventory management. And yes, those things are important, but first we have to be up here and we have to learn to drive sales. We have to learn to drive revenue first before we jump all the way down here. So step number 1, you have to identify which stage you're currently in. And yes, you can be in between stages, right? You can be moving in between these stages, and you can actually move into one stage and then fall back into another stage. I see this often down here where people get systems and processes in place. And then what happens is they fall back here where the people don't, or the team members, they don't apply, they don't comply with the systems and processes. And so they fall as an organization back here. But in order to scale, they have to get people to buy in. They have to build this machine where the people and the systems and processes are all working together. So before you start jumping to the latest thing that a guru is talking about, identify where you are, and then you need to figure out what strategy, what thing do you need in place to move to the next stage. So if you are here, you're just getting started, you're learning this stuff, this entrepreneurial journey on your own. The next phase is, how are you going to learn to trust people? Who are those people going to be? Right? Whether it's vendors, whether it's employees, whether it is subcontractors that you're working with, who are those people? And how can you begin trusting them? If you're here, if you already have some people on your team, the next question is, what systems and processes do we need to build so that we're super consistent in the way we respond to email, or the way that we fulfill orders, or the way that you do whatever it is that you do. Or maybe you've already got, you've got the systems and processes. Now you're in the stage of trying to get your team to follow the systems and processes and to work in unison with those systems and processes, right? So again, identify the stage that you're in, step number one. Step number two is identify the exact things you need to do to transition, to move into that next stage in the entrepreneurial journey. And this is what I want to end with. I want to end with this, that whatever stage that you are in, it's okay to stay there. You don't have to do what anybody else says you should do, right? This whole idea, the 5 stages, is about you and your dreams for your business. I know some people that are doing exceptionally well, and it's just them. They have no team. They have maybe a few systems and processes in place, but they're doing quite well and they're happy here. So you don't have to comply to this pressure to always grow, to always scale. A friend of mine often says to me, are you making money or are you just making noise? Right? So in other words, are we actually doing things that make us money? Are we doing things that we enjoy? Or are we just making a lot of noise, doing the things that we think we should do as entrepreneurs, hiring people, buying a building, whatever those things may be? Are we just doing those things because that's the quote unquote the thing that you should do as a business owner? Or are we actually doing the things that we want to do based on our vision, our mission, and our calling for our businesses? So if this video is beneficial to you, I would love to hear what stage you're currently in and what you are working on to move to that next stage. Leave a comment below. I will be sure to respond to each of them.